Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
I'm gonna set us up before I start putting people in.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you and Susan, all of us co-hosts. Does that make sense? Okay. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
I'm gonna set us up before I start putting people in.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you and Susan, all of us co-hosts. Does that make sense? Why is that happening? Anybody?
Hello, I'm trying to figure this camera out.
Why is that happening?
No.
Anybody?
Do you know why we're in a feedback loop, Kim?
Do you have the YouTube
I'm looking.
link?
I've turned it off, Stephen. Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
My screen is so small, I can't see anything. So
I got you.
sorry, everybody. All right, I think we're good.
I'm going to let some friends in that are in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me okay? Sweet.
I've got I've got maybe 1 minute till 6, so we'll give it just a second and we'll get started in just a moment. All right. Looks like we are right at 6 o'clock. So we'll go ahead and get the show on the road tonight. Thanks everyone for being here. Looks like we do have a quorum present. I'm just going to run through just a quick little roll call, and then so if you're I'll do the voting members first, and then non-voting members. Probably be helpful just for everybody to see everybody, especially for some of our new friends that are here with us for the first time tonight. So hey, I'm here. Dana, I don't think is here just yet. I don't see her in the list. Neil, see you. Evie, nice to see you tonight. Amy is out this evening. Missy, Josh, I think I saw you a second ago. Perfect.
Yeah, how you doing? Good to see you.
Awesome, thanks. And then for our non-voting members, Steve, Susan, Kim, Kathy, and then I don't see Joanne this evening. Carla, see her either. Nancy, nice to see you. All right, excellent. We have a quorum. We're ready to roll. So our first action for the evening is to approve the minutes from both the June 21st and June 28th meetings. So there's a regular meeting that occurred on June 21st, a special called meeting on the 28th. We apologize for just getting those minutes posted to the agenda a little bit later that happened, I guess, earlier this afternoon. If you've had a moment to look those over, if there are any questions or comments or concerns, I'll give you a moment to look those over if you haven't. Otherwise, we can entertain motions to approve the minutes. All right, hearing no commentary, I'll take a motion. We can do them both at once if you want. Motion to approve the minutes. I'll be looking for one of our board members to make that motion.
So moved.
Thank you. And need a second?
Second.
Thank you, Josh. And then all in favor of the approval of the minutes from June 21st and June 28th.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Any opposed? Awesome. Thanks. All right. Kim, you mentioned that we did not have any visiting parents, community, or faculty members signed up this evening to speak.
That's correct.
Okay. And for the new members, this is normally our kind of public comment period. So we have people, either parents, community members, or faculty or staff that have an opportunity to speak to the board. They're given 2 minutes. We'll talk about this in more detail later on. The general idea is a speaker would have 2 minutes at this point, be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about. The one sort of stipulation is that the board does not respond to the comments that are made by the member of the public, but it's an important part of our meetings, and often we'll have people that will step in and have something to speak about. So just kind of keep the ball rolling. We'll go ahead and move over to Susan, who will talk a little bit about the organizational structure for 2022 and 2023.
Good evening, everyone. Kim is going to join me in this conversation as well, and she's mostly going to take the roles of the organizational structure, the reins of that. But to briefly describe what we've decided to do was we implemented co-directors, myself as director of operations, which will be handling finance, human resources, facilities, and any other of those umbrella topics. And then Kim would be the director of education. There were coordinator shifts to our 3 remaining coordinators. Kim was previously the curriculum coordinator, so she will discuss the specifics regarding that. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Kim, so I don't lose track.
Okay. So if you pull up on the chart, the new org chart, so the org chart that we worked from last year is very similar to this, but what we decided after we spoke with the board at the end of June, they put it in our hands to take leadership and make a decision about how we would operate this year. We did recommend that we not search for a director right away, because we thought long and hard about some of the things that had happened this year, and we really believe that we have a good leadership structure there. We have good, strong people there with our coordinators and with Susan and myself. And so we're going to do a co-directorship, as Susan talked about, with 2 main branches. And Susan will take care of all of the operations, finance, HR operations portion of the directorship, which if you look at what the director's job description, that's really funneled right out into that job description now. And then I'll be, I was the curriculum and instruction coordinator, and I've taken all the pieces that were more education based, more philosophical, and put that in my job description. Then with EC coordinator, there's been one small piece that's gone onto her plate, data managing, which she feels very comfortable with. And then what we did is we took the innovation and culture coordinator and the MTSS coordinator. We had some good conversations there and decided that we were going to have instructional coordinators there. And so if you look at the things that are in red throughout all of these positions, those are the things that have started to shift. And we will have either some shifting and co-responsibilities in those areas, or they've made major shifts, but there'll be some help with those areas. So for example, I'll give you one example, would be like our gifted identification. So Lisa Cole, who was the MTSS coordinator last year, and myself, we were co-gifted identification. And so because she will be responsible for the K3, the point person for that, that responsibility is going to shift up to Ben Pierce and myself. Ben Pierce, who will be doing the 4 through 8 and specialist coordination point person. And with that, what we do is we do a sweep in 4th grade of gifted identification. And so now Ben will take the reins for that particular piece. And I will be helping because that's something I've done all along. So it's just a nice, simple shift. And then there are, some other things we talked about: supervision and evaluation. And again, much like I just said about the K3 with Lisa Cole, and then the 4-8 and specialist with Ben Pierce, those will be the point people, and they will do announced observations. Myself and Ben and Lisa will do unannounced observations as well. And then I will be responsible for the summatives at the end of the year in coordination with the instructional coordinators. So we've talked, we all are in agreement that we feel good about this model. And, Susan and I both have strong backgrounds in, leadership. Myself, I was the interim 2 years ago and have been a principal and director for 10 plus years up in Massachusetts. Susan has had similar experiences down here and up in New Jersey. So we feel very confident and positive about this shift. And what we really like about it, excuse me, what we really like about it is that our whole goal last year was to try to start flattening out that hierarchical structure. We are a shared leadership school. We feel very strongly as a school, and I think the board, as you get to know us, the whole board, will understand as well, that what we're really about is shared leadership. And so this co-director position really helps us have more of a collaborative base. It has us working together, as opposed to one person being responsible for everything. This has us working very closely together. And I know Susan and I have talked a lot about this, and we feel very strongly that, first of all, we have a good partnership already, a good trust for one another. And if, what we would like to do this year is get through till about, December, and then do a kind of a survey and see how things are going. Of course, we've already said to the staff and faculty that if things aren't going right, we need to know that. And I think people feel very comfortable coming to us and talking about those kind of things. And if it feels great, tell us that too, because we need to know where we're going right. And what we really want to do is just get that kind of feedback and input midway through the year so that we know which direction we want to start to head in, and then see where we end up towards the end of the year. Because it'll tell us what we want to do in terms of, do we want to continue this model? Do we want to look for a different kind of makeup for this, or is it going well? And where are we, in this structure? So, with all that said, there are a lot of changes. I mean, little changes that are making up this big kind of change. But I think in the end, what you should feel confident in, and I know Stephen and the former board, I think felt very comfortable with our leadership, with the current leadership, knowing that you're going into this, and I've had a couple conversations, Susan, with some of the new board members, and I think if you know us and you get to know us, you'll feel comfortable as well. We are excited. We are, if you come in the building, you're going to feel a sense of, first of all, new flooring. You're going to feel a really new, sense about us. But I think you'll feel that a calm and yet a great energy with this structure. And we have sent this out as well as the board because we wanted you to see it. We have sent it out to faculty and staff. So far, haven't got a lot of comments back, but the ones we've had face-to-face, people are really positive and feel good about it. And that's what we want. We want people to, give us that good feedback, positive and negative, constructive and, not so constructive sometimes. But what I really, I just want to also just point this back to you. What I really love about this structure is we created, sometimes it's all in the graphic, right? But it's that idea that there's no one person that's, I mean, the descriptions have a lot in them, but they're all connected, right? There's this racetrack around, the two directors, but everything goes back to each other. So there's never any point where one group feels more isolated than another. I mean, or one group feels out there. Everybody's connected through those through that kind of racetrack, and we feel really good about that. And what I think, as we've been talking as coordinators too, and the two directors, we really feel like people have these point people that they can go to. They know who they can go to. We're going to share this with parents, but we wanted to talk with you about it first. We're going to share with parents so they know who they can talk to as well about the different things and how and who's responsible for what. But I just want to say good things. And certainly if you as a board ever feel like there's a question or concern or something happening that's good, we would love to hear that as well from you, because that's our goal. We're very people oriented, Susan and I both, and we want this to go well this year for our school and for our faculty and staff, and obviously for our kids and for our families.
Thank you. It's probably a good chance to pause for just a second, see if there's any questions or comments from any of the board members.
Kim and Susan, I don't know. I've talked a little bit with Kim already and Susan, but I'm hoping that Susan and Kim throughout this, that you will also give us feedback on how it's working and what it feels like, because we need that, we need that back and forth with you guys, because I know that I don't know so much for Susan, but I know with Kim, she'll take a lot on because she cares so much, and I don't want her to get burned out. And the other thing I'm hoping is that somehow throughout it, we will figure out a way to honor the roles that the people have, that you have. I know in particular, I think about curriculum coordinator and getting involved. So I just want to make sure we honor both of your positions as we go into this as well.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? We are just plowing along tonight. This is the good way to do it. Okay. It's like we're moving on to that complete our organizational structure discussion. Does that move us to finance?
So for the finance piece, we're going to have a lot more information for you at the next board meeting. We are currently finalizing the fiscal year 2022 with Acadia, our financial management partner. There were some outstanding pieces that we needed to rectify in order to true up and finalize the 22 budget. So we're currently working through that, and I'm confident that we're there now. It's taken a little bit of work and finessing, but I think we're at a point now where we're going to be able to have that conversation this week regarding where we are at the close of the fiscal year 22. In terms of the fiscal year 23, so this upcoming budget, there was a budget that was approved in June, and Kim and I have gone through with Acadia and have some revisions that will be necessary to that budget, but we will have that to you well in advance, and we're collaborating with Acadia to ensure that all of those items are correct, accurate, and able to be reported to the state. Does anybody have questions about budget? I'm sorry, we don't have something to put before you right now, but we're simply in catch-up mode and just trying to get ourselves to a place where we can accurately depict where we are.
Would it be okay to send out the precursor budget, even though there may be some changes made for 2023, just to, I guess, give us a lens?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And nothing too outlandish in terms of adjustments or edits. There were a couple of line items that were misplaced, a couple of pieces that were not allocated correctly. So we're just fixing that to ensure that our funding sources are accurate in the budget, and that we're pulling from the correct accounts and grants and things like that. So those are just some of the items that we're finalizing. In addition, the state did just approve the updated teacher salary schedule for the 22-23 school year. Everybody is seeing a more substantial raise than we have in the past. So it's much deserved for our teachers, our staff members. We're excited about this, and that's all been incorporated into the new budget as well. So that, of course, we saw a shift in our salary line as well. So that will be sent to you as soon as we have that finalized. And we do have an audit scheduled. So now that we're in a good place, we're going to bring people in as we do every year and get their feedback on our processes, our protocols, and how we handle our finances, human resources. All of that will be audited. They originally proposed the first week of school, so we came back and said maybe there's a better day that we could schedule that. It tends to be a little bit busy. So we're looking at the first week of September potentially for that. And we'll keep you posted on that. And of course, all of those results will be shared with you as a board and the community so that we're all on the same page. Let's see. I discussed the fiscal year 23 budget and the teacher salary schedule. So that moves us on to facilities unless someone else has a question that I can. Okay, so much like we've been busy in finance, we've been very busy in facilities. If you can look at the embedded link in the agenda, you'll see all of our summer projects. So right now, as Kim mentioned, we do have our new floors. The building is in a bit of disarray. We're painting, furniture's everywhere, but the outside, we've done a lot of projects there as well. So just to kind of provide an overview of what we've done this summer. New flooring, the project's complete. The total cost was $194,000 and some change. Important to note that $131,944.75 was on the fiscal year 22 budget. That was the materials that we had to purchase with last year's money. And then the labor went on the 23 budget. So that's $62,000 and some change. The funding source for that was the reserve. So we had requested this money from the board to replace the flooring a few months back. So we took that from the Blue Clay sale money. We have new storage sheds. That project is also complete. And I don't have to go line for line with all of the dollar amounts, but they're all there for you to view. That was also a split cost between materials and labor for the fiscal year 22 and 23. And here on out, with the exception of the sign, all of this funding is coming from improvements to existing sites, which is a line item that you'll notice in our budget. And I do have an asterisk at the bottom, a little note at the bottom of the report. The school was approved for $100,000 from reserve in March 2021 for site improvements. So these projects have been ongoing from last spring up until this summer, and that's how we're funding those. So we also have a front office and lobby renovation in order to make more space for office space. That's something we find ourselves often struggling with inside of the building. Where does everybody go? We often have I think everybody on this meeting has had a meeting with me in the background or something or other. So we're very flexible, but one of the proposed solutions to that is to make our front office actually the entry where we had those computers previously. It actually looks really nice when you come in. We've got it freshly painted. We're going to have new desks installed for our front office people, Ms. Deb and Mr. Ben Rose. So it's gonna look nice. So that's also going to be a pretty significant change for when you walk inside of the building. We are currently painting, as I mentioned. I do not have a final estimate for this. I mean, we were given about an $8,000 price range. Of course, as projects sometimes go, more materials might be needed, but I don't see that costing us any more than $9,000 for the painting that we're doing right now. That's not the entire building. That includes 6 classrooms, the classrooms in the NPR, and the common areas, so the hallways and the front office. We are pressure washing. We are quoted for that, so we're currently scheduling that. We had mulch and landscaping cleanup. That's complete. That really added a nice element. We needed mulch desperately, but the landscaping company came in, did all the weeding that was desperately needed. So the outside grounds look really cleaned up and nice. Fencing along the NPR grass lot, that project is complete as well. So that gives Miss Kayla a place for, her students to play outside there, and multi-purposes there for our students on the facilities. The boardwalk installation and repair is complete. So we were missing that boardwalk along the main building. That is all laid down and complete. And there was a repair on the other boardwalk by the NPR. The shipyard sign is finally ordered. This has been about 1.5 years in the making, but we're scheduled for September. And that is the only item that is not coming out of the improvements to existing sites line. That is capital campaign. So fundraising took place back in fiscal year 2020. And that's where we're getting the funding for the sign from the Great Art Expectations fundraiser that took place that year. We are finally, so we just cleared out all of our items in the storage unit outside yesterday. So we've got those out. We're getting rid of the storage unit, which is a savings to us. We are also no longer going to need the secure storage because we are getting rid of all of those files and digitizing them. I shouldn't say getting rid of, but we're digitizing the files, and then we will have that space back. So that's another big project, is the digital scanning and storage that will take place on August 9th. We're ordering a few pieces of furniture, including classroom rugs, tables, and chairs that desperately needed updating. I was talking to some teachers today, and they have been here 20+ years and have never had new furniture in their classrooms. We've kind of, begged, borrowed, and stealed. So here we are. We have some classrooms that are getting equipped with some newer furniture. There was a large request for teacher mailboxes to be installed, so we did that this summer. That's all ready to go. Just putting the name tags on. Yes, Kathy, we're excited. And then the playground, this remains our big project, and unfortunately not a lot of headway was made with this, but we do have a plan. So our proposal in conjunction with the strategic plan for this year is to develop a facilities plan where in year one, this is what happens and this is what we as a school can afford. And this is where maybe fundraising efforts will go towards. So in collaboration with the partnership or any other fundraising efforts that we have, how much can we afford each year on an actual playground model that is not pieced together by, we'll buy this item this year or this item next year, an actual playground model that complements one another, the equipment. So that's our plan for the playground. There is an October installation of the previous playground equipment that's kind of been laying on the ground over there. So that's going to be installed back. Apparently they're very booked, but October was the earliest we could get this installation on the 4-8 playground. So again, that's one of our bigger pieces. We're meeting with companies, we're meeting with vendors. We look to involve the staff members, involve the community, and get some feedback on what it should look like. And then hopefully we're thinking in 3 or 4 years, we're going to have a really phenomenal playground space for our students, but it's little by little that we get there. So
Susan, can I just jump on to that too? So we have met with the partnership, who has been wonderful in terms of raising some great funds with us through Fund the Wonder last year. And that's the 14,000 plus Evening Under the Oaks. That's that combined amount. Have spoken to them about, that first phase to try to get something organized so that we'll get a piece of equipment or a couple pieces, but we do want to do this phased in plan. We will let the community know as well. We think it's really important that they know exactly what's happening with the money that's been raised. And as soon, within the next couple of months, we hope that we will have that plan and we can order those first pieces of equipment that like Susan said, can be integrated and can be part of a master plan altogether. So we're excited about it. We know that it's important when people are giving money that they see results. And so that's our goal. They'll see results, hopefully very quickly, but even in lieu of that really quickly piece, they know that there is a plan and they know that it's going to have something will happen and be visible to them, and kids will be playing on something hopefully in the next, few months. So.
And I just wanted to chime in with a big thank you. I mean, this document is fantastic to see everything listed out like this in terms of transparency, in terms of where everything's coming from and what it's costing. I mean, it's very, very good. I appreciate the work that was put together to put this document together. It's really appreciated. I know from the board's perspective.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a combined effort, but definitely important to us. And moving forward, you should expect to see this each month. Hopefully not this much every month. We've been very busy for, this has taken place honestly over the course of the last 4 weeks. We've been able to make this much progress. So we're very happy with it. We're proud of the progress we've made. We know we've got some more work to do, but we're well on our way to making our campus even greater. So does anybody have any questions about the facilities plan or anything that we discussed there or comments? Okay.
All right.
And
Yeah.
finally, for me, is the Human Resources Board Report and New Hire Report. We will discuss this in detail in closed session, but just to give a broad overview, we, in this report, discuss the change in status for myself and Kim. Also, we have one resignation, and then we are looking to make recommendations for 5 different positions. That is inclusive of 2 BC teacher assistants, 2 interventionists that are typically on our staff, but were not approved at the last HR board report in the last board meeting, and then a 7th and 8th grade science teacher. We are currently still looking for a K-5 teacher assistant, and those interviews are scheduled for Thursday. So we're hoping to be fully staffed. Once we make a recommendation there, we will be fully staffed. Hopefully it stays that way. I don't know if people know the nature of affairs right now, but it's a tall order to be fully staffed as a school right now. New Hanover County is experiencing a lot of issues in terms of staffing their available and open positions. So that's another thing that we're hoping to be finalized before we go into the school year.
Susan, can I ask a question? Is there going to be, I didn't see it in the budget or discuss, will there be some sort of salary adjustment for you and Kim?
We did discuss that, yes. So that will be inclusive of the contracts, yes.
And that will be shared, that will be something that faculty will be able to see as well?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying you don't deserve it. I'd like to know. Thank you.
All right. So at this point, we'll entertain a motion to move into closed session. So we'll need a motion for something along the lines of personnel matters is probably the good phrasing there. And so we'll look for a motion in a second. The way I guess I'm the only veteran left over from the voting side. So for those of you who are new, which is everybody but me, we'll go in with the voting members plus Kim, and we'll invite Susan as well. And we'll do a Zoom breakout room for that. So you'll see an opportunity to jump into a breakout room that should be popped. Don't go just yet because we got to vote. So I'll need a motion to go into closed session in a second, and then we'll vote.
Motion. So moved.
Thank you, Neil. And need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Missy. And then all in favor of moving into closed session for the consideration of personnel matters?
Aye.
Aye. Seeing none opposed. All right, now you can click your link. I'll see you there in a sec.
It's been a long time since I've served on the board. What are we doing now? So they go into
We
exec
just have to sit and wait.
and then they come back.
Yeah, and they'll come back. They're not recording this portion, which I guess is good. So, yeah.
Missy a chance to go walk the dog.
Well, no, she's in there. She's a voting member.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's a voting member.
So none of the teachers are voting members, right?
No,
That makes sense. That's what I thought, but
we used to be, but then the state changed that law. It's been sometime in the last 10 years, because I remember when we had to discuss it at faculty meetings. So the change has been, I guess, fairly recently.
I thought the founder's seat still voted, but maybe I know you're in it, Kathy. So
Yeah, I'm in it.
obviously that's wrong, but I don't know why I thought there was one.
The 3 years I was founder, I think I started as a voting member and it changed during
While you were there.
Yeah.
Stephen, are you a parent at the school? I know your name. I hear it, but I don't know who.
I'm a parent. I'm on the partnership. I've been on this board for 3 years.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for
yeah.
serving and staying.
Yeah. I'm in Florida right now. So,
Oh, yay.
I'm in Charleston.
oh, we just got back. I had my last meeting. I was sitting in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship. That was fun. So, yeah. Yep.
And Carla, you just had family get here tonight?
Yes. So yes, my sister arrived like 5 minutes before this started. So I was like, and the computer was like uploading and then updating. And then I was like, oh my God. But I didn't want to join from my phone because that just never works well.
I know, I've tried it before too. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I went into.
Oh, did you hear Kim say that the conversation she had with our new tech people?
No.
Yes.
I'm afraid.
They
I think I was
basically,
there for that.
yeah, that's right. They basically told her that there's no reason why teachers, like why staff members' computers should have any type of Zscaler or anything like that on it. That's like, treat them as
That's
professionals.
life-changing. That's
Well,
life-changing.
yeah, it's life changing
That's
because if I'm not on the school's network, when I take my computer home,
Mm.
let's say I log into 10 websites, I would say 8 to 9 of them don't fully load or don't show me the pictures or they don't allow me to get on it at all. And we're talking like stuff that I access during the day at school all the time.
Someone just texted me and said we're live on YouTube, FYI.
Oh,
we are.
It's got the little live up there in the left-hand corner.
yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Oh,
But
Kristen. Hi, Kristen. That's Kristen. Oh.
Have you been in the building? I went in today to drop some stuff off in the,
yeah, we were there for job interviews.
today you were there for TA interviews?
No. Last week.
Last week and the week before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Sarah said they started painting our rooms, Kathy.
Yay.
I think I don't think anything's in the hallway down there. I wonder if they finished. They didn't.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they put things
They
in
were
the hallway
close.
to paint.
They were close to being finished with the hallway last week. The stretch between Allie and Amina's room and my room had not been done.
They've moved fast this summer. I'm amazed at everything they've done.
Yep.
It's funny when I drove up and I saw that jungle gym monkey bars sitting there. I was like, man, can we just get those in the dump? I don't even care that it's October as long as it's on the calendar.
There's 50 hours worth of work. Oh, am I muted? No, there's probably 50 hours worth of work. Joanna Henderson trying to find the pieces to go to put that thing together.
That green thing?
Yeah.
I'm so excited that that's
We
going to
have
be installed.
measured. She.
Wait a minute. You and Joanne went and hunted these down?
She did.
Yeah.
I just went up and helped
She
her
did.
measure.
Oh, we
and
need
stuff.
to reach out to her.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. She's probably got 50 hours into trying to figure that stuff out.
Kudos
And,
to Joanna Henderson. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
met her
a
before.
rock star when it comes to you tell her what you need. So
Mhm.
I just kind
She
of
is.
follow behind her. So it's awesome.
Wonderfully dedicated.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it ended up being like a $30 piece that was missing.
Oh my God.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was a bolt.
It was some kind of clamp. Yeah, something like that. It was something that was specific to it though.
That's amazing.
And they were just gonna at one point just recycle it because nobody knew it was supposed to be put back in the ground when we had it taken out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then yeah.
I feel bad that I even said, I thought, let's just get rid of it. I was like, it's almost like just a reminder of how crazy
Well,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it's been a lot of work trying to get that thing back up.
No,
so
I-
glad that it's going to be
That's
able to be reinstalled.
Yeah. Yeah. She did
So exciting.
the sandboxes. She built the sandboxes. She's built tables for Miss Brinkley out of pallets.
I know. I think she did the chalkboards on the 4-8 playground and the
Yes.
swings. She was responsible
Yeah.
for the swing.
She was responsible for the swing, the soccer.
Yeah.
Oh, the soccer
the
goals. Those are
We went and
amazing.
got the soccer goals.
What
So
does she
yeah.
have at our school? I've never
What-
taught any of her children.
Max,
He has Max, and Max is
like,
seventh
are we
grade.
supposed to say this?
Yeah, I don't know. I
We're
shouldn't
live.
say
I don't
that,
know.
True.
That's why
Yeah.
I stopped.
She has an
fifth
she has
grade,
an
though.
incoming a rising seventh grader.
Yes,
Okay, her kids are in middle school. Okay. I
A
just
rising
Um,
fifth grader
I think,
and a
or when I see
rising first grader.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So,
I wish we weren't on YouTube.
but
Not
then
that
they
I
wouldn't
would
be
do
like,
it.
nobody will see us.
I know it's weird thinking. You have no idea who sees you. Well, I know Chris is there.
I'm leaving for the mountains on Thursday. I cannot wait. I'm like,
Oh, that'll be fun.
7 days. I've never
I
been
was gonna say how long?
Thursday to Thursday.
That'll be great.
I can't even stand it. I had like a little moody morning this morning, and Joe was like, no. He's like, no, you don't get to do that. We're going to be in the mountains in 2 days. You better just suck it up, Buttercup. I was like, okay. Snap me right out of it. Everyone needs a vacation to hang, just lingering in the background to help you kind of get to.
That's what we do. We always have something next when we get
That's
home.
how you know you chose well.
We
Yeah.
got to have something to look forward to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys see this picture?
Yeah.
behind
Yes.
us? Can you see what it is?
Yes.
It's just a pig leaping off a dock into a pond.
That's awesome.
It was a wedding gift from one of our friends, and I
have-
forget about it every so often. But when I
You have
see
good
it,
friends.
it
I
cracks me
didn't know
up.
it was a pig, but I like it better now. It's my spirit animal.
Like,
That's awesome.
I don't know if I would ever give that to someone's wedding present, but it's like one of my favorite ones.
It's kind of a brave move to give someone you don't know well art. I think.
That's our type of friend, though. Yeah.
I have
good
They
before
know
friends.
us well.
close friends, but
Yeah.
so how long typically, depending upon the topics, like this could take hours or this could take Yeah.
We've had board meetings during the COVID stuff. We had board meetings that lasted over 4 hours.
This is fun.
Steven, this is my third time serving.
I'm gonna
When I
disappear for a minute. I'll be back.
served, our board meetings used to last until midnight.
Isn't that just, yes, it's something else, isn't it?
But we
And-
we were building everything together,
Right,
meeting
absolutely.
administration. But I was like, and then when we finally got structure, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah. That's cool. Normal stuff doesn't. What they're doing right now depends. I have sat here for an hour while they've been in closed session.
So
But
maybe come with some things to do.
it's probably, yeah, that's what, yeah, I do. I'm looking at flights, but I don't think it's that type of issue that hopefully that they're going into. So
Carla, your maiden name. Rodolante? How do you say that?
how's the weather in Wilmington?
It's hot. Not raining though, it's hot, but
That's good.
it's hot everywhere though. Rhode Island, my family's from Rhode Island and they were going through a heat wave. It got up to like 98 the other day. I was like, my mother had
Wow.
no air conditioning.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Like everyone I know except Anne has like a window unit. They just don't
Right.
have essential, their houses are so old.
So wait, my wife was in Europe in June, and there's no air conditioning there where they're at. It's just the windows and stuff. And it was the same way. It was heating up, and now it's really hot over there. I can't imagine. Mm-mm.
I
I
have
need my
become
air conditioning.
Yeah, I have become such a wimp that I
Mhm.
plan my trips early as soon as school's out because I'm not going and say my sister Ann is the only one I'll stay at her house right now with AC, but like it's too hot.
Mhm. Yeah.
Too hot. I should have planned my meal better, my dinner. Did you eat already, Kathy? Are you going out to dinner tonight?
No, we usually, baseball schedule's kind of weird because he doesn't get done. I mean, ball games now, they have a time limit in minor league baseball now, so games end a lot quicker. They're anywhere from 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes, where before it was more like 3 hours plus or minus 30 minutes. So he will be done around 10-ish back to the hotel by then. And so we typically eat a late breakfast, a really late lunch, and then a late dinner, which is horrible for your body. But it's like, I don't want to eat by myself all the time. So,
You're on vacation.
well, yeah. And the other thing is too, minor league baseball they provide meals for everybody. Basically, all 3 meals are provided. So it's kind of like, why would I spend my own money? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Speaking of,
But
I need to check my salmon.
I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited to be in Charleston without an agenda and without a limit. I mean, we're here till Sunday, so, and it's just basically, whatever you want to do. So I'm
Will you
excited.
have, Stephen also has free time?
Yeah, he doesn't typically report to the ballpark till about, well, as manager, he's usually there before everybody else. So bus usually leaves the hotel around 1 or 1:30. So he likes to be at the ballpark normally by the time the bus is leaving the hotel. So he's usually the first one there. But so he usually has till about 1
All right.
or so. Just depends on what's going on. As visiting team, when you're on the road, you don't have as much access to facilities and grounds and things like that. So a lot of times they'll have later starts. So, but when we're at home,
We have a cruise going out there out of Charleston.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, in October, I think.
Yeah, we just got back off a cruise about a month ago.
Ours was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Magical.
Oh, I love it. We go about every 3 months.
I could. It's funny because every time we do it, I'm like, why do we not do this more often?
I know.
So,
It's the ultimate vacation.
it is.
We just did the Carnival one, the Mardi Gras that has the roller coaster on it.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Where do you have to go? Where do you have to go out of?
Port Canaveral.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, my sister-in-law lives here in Ponte Vedra.
Yeah. I grew up in Vero Beach.
Okay.
When we went out of Jacksonville, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you what, that was nice.
You were on the Elation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's such a convenient, we drove,
Yep.
it was easy,
I was just over at that port the other day. I was dropping some friends off who
Yeah.
went, and
Yep.
we picked them up yesterday. They came back yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that roller coaster was Will, my 10-year-old. He loved it.
That's
Did it
amazing.
twice. Yeah, it was crazy. I loved it. Yeah, we went to, where did we go? Puerto Rico, Jamaica. No, Puerto Rico, Grand Turk, and Amber Cove.
How many days was that?
7.
Okay, and that's out of Port Canaveral. That is good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a guy. If you need to, we got a guy in Carnival. If you need his number,
Ooh, I will reach out to you.
please do. He doesn't have like travel agency. It's just a guy that you can call that he'll answer the phone immediately. You don't have to wait 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, and he gets
Nice.
the best deals. Yeah.
I will be right back.
I'm just gonna sit.
All right, welcome back. We'll give it just 1 second for everybody to reappear. Well, we might have lost Josh there for a second. Oh, there's Neil. Perfect.
Sorry, I minimized the wrong window.
No, it's okay. I have clicked that leave meeting button before too, so that's always fun. Looks like we have everybody back. So thanks guys for your patience. We'll to go ahead and entertain a motion and a second to approve the HR report as discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Neil,
Second.
second from Josh. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you all for that. Let's see what's up next. I think we're back to Kim.
Yes, so if you go into the co-director's report on F, just need to pull it up, I'm sorry. The first thing is that we're going into, we just have on number 3, some COVID guidance. We wanted to share that with you just to make sure that you know that the effective guidance ended the voting
Can I interrupt
every
you
month.
for half a second? If you might hit the record button as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. Kathy, thanks for catching that. She's
there we go.
nice.
Thanks, Kathy. So if you hit number 3, it's an update on guidance for K through 12. This is about COVID and how we handle COVID in the schools. It was effective as of June 24th. And if you remember, we used to have to do the monthly vote for masks, that type of thing. So now what this is saying is that all of our guidance, they're basically not, they're sunsetting the Strong Schools toolkit. And going forward, we will all now refer to the CDC's operational guidance for K through 12 schools for information on how to lower risk of COVID in school settings. So this just gives you that guidance and, makes you aware of what, where we are in terms of COVID. Any questions on that? Okay. The next item is number 4, and it's enrollment. We just want to give you an update on where we are. Currently, all of our grades are full. There are 6 pending enrollments, and what that means for new board members in particular is that the spots have been offered to kids. So for example, in kindergarten, we have 3 students have been offered spots or positions, and we are waiting just to hear back from them to know if they're going to accept those spots. And we have 2 in 1st grade and then 1 in 6th grade that we're waiting on. We thought it was important to share with you what our wait list looks like, and that's the number of kids that are still on the list and are, pending, depending on if we have any openings. So kindergarten, there's 33, 1st grade, there's 30, 2nd grade, 17, 3rd grade, 23, 4th grade, 16, 5th grade, 33, 6th grade, 52, 7th grade, 31, and 8th grade, 19. I just have to tell you from being at the school for the last 4.5 years, that's a very strong wait list for us. So, I mean, we've had big wait lists and we've gone through some of our wait lists already. So it was even stronger, say like 2 months ago. But to see even in the middle school, that speaks volumes for our school as a whole. This is a very strong wait list, and that means we're doing something right. Our teachers are doing something right, and we as a whole school are doing something very right. So good for us. But yeah, so with that being said, I just want to make sure, I think it's in the executive report. So I'm going to finish this up. Sorry. We wanted to talk to you about our opening days. And what we have thought about is our mission and our vision. And as a faculty and staff, we really want to look at this time over summer and going into the new year as recommitting to our mission and vision. So teachers are returning on Monday, August 15th. We have 3 mornings of opening meetings and professional development. And we are at that time going to be doing a lot of recommitting to our mission and vision and to those what we like to call non-negotiables, like what we believe in as a faculty and staff. And so we had 4 teachers that went to advanced training in responsive classroom. Kathy Mintz, Julie Naylor, Carla Bromstead, and Allie Baldwin all attended training this summer, along with 2 other teachers who attended their beginning training as new teachers to the school. And so they're going to help us do that. They're going to help us, recommit to responsive classroom and recommit to everything CFCI through the approach that we're going to take in our opening meetings. And we're excited about having them do that. Teachers are going to have time to work in their classrooms during that first week, during undesignated work days in the afternoons on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And then they have 2 full days on Wednesday and Thursday to prepare not only for the opening of school, but for open house on Thursday, August 18th from 5:30 to 7. So we're all excited about that. Does anybody have any questions about opening days?
Kim, just with enrollment, how many kids did we lose last year? Did we lose a big number of them?
I don't have that number right in front of me, Evie,
Okay.
but I'm happy to share that number with everyone, either for the next meeting, or I can also send it to you separately. That's not a problem. I wish I had it at the top of my head. I don't want to say it and then it be so wrong. We did lose, a good chunk of kids, probably a few more than we normally do for various reasons, including COVID. I think that, the fact that we have such a healthy wait list and that we've still been able to maintain that, given the numbers, I think we've done really well. But let me get you that number for sure. It's something I'm curious about too. So for professional development, we are very excited. The Lifelong Learning Committee put their heads together, and we're pleased that Heidi Mills, Dr. Heidi Mills from the Center for Inquiry down in Columbia, South Carolina, who's worked with us before, and we've used her unit planning tool and have used a lot of her information, is going to be working with us. She's going to do it in a little bit more scaled back version of what she had planned on doing, because she has an illness that just was recently diagnosed, and so but is still very much committed to our school and working with our teachers. And as a matter of fact, I got an email from her today reiterating that she just had some of her procedures done, and but is on board with us. So we are going to kind of tweak a little bit of what we were doing with her, but we're going to use her book, Learning for Real. As you can tell from the name of her school, Center for Inquiry, we've basically been a sister school, and they have a conference every spring called Inquiry Matters that they always invite all of our teachers to. And so we're going to try to get a big group together to go down this year because we've been reinvited. And we're looking forward to collaborating with her. I know she came in June this past year to come and see us and get started on our learning for this coming year. And so teachers got to meet with her. She got to go visit classrooms, and I think we're really excited overall to have her expertise and her energy and her, just all of her thought process in our professional development this year. Any questions about that with professional development? Moving on to partnership, PCN, and families. I wanted to let you know that we've met with our partnership this summer already and have begun planning for the new school year. We have exchanged calendars so that we can be on the same page. We're going to have a master calendar that'll be on the front page of our website. We're working on that currently. So anybody can go to the website, take a look. They'll see what things are happening in the school, internally, and, any kind of events that are happening, any museums that are happening for different grade levels, and anything that's happening with the partnership, any type of event like Fund the Wonder or Winter Festival or a curriculum night, whatever's happening, we're working together to make sure that we're on the same page. So we're excited about that. And they've got lots of great ideas that they've shared and that we're going to share with the community, and we'll keep making those connections happen. So we're super
It's
positive
7
about
o'clock.
that. We'll also be sending a letter to our families, letting them know about our structure, about the organizational structure, welcoming new families, talking about open house, talking about what happens the first, week or two, but also the first month or two of school, and just letting them know if they have questions or concerns, who they can go to, where they can go, whether it's information that's on the website or it's making a phone call, how they can get in touch with the people that they need to get in touch with easily, so that there's no worries or holdups for them. Any questions about that? Oh, and then the last thing I was going to say is that we are starting, Susan and I are going to be working in August to relaunch the Parent Collaborative Network. It's basically, if you're not familiar with it, it's a committee, that a group that's been formed. We've had it for many years, and it did not happen last year, but we're relaunching it and recommitting to it. And what we love about it is it's an advisory group, basically, in its simplest form, where people are, parents and families are able to have representation and talk about concerns that they might have, relationships, different things that they notice or would like to see improved in the school. It's really that advisory group to the directors. So we're really very much looking forward to having that group available to us and the coordinators, our leadership team. Finally, we just want to reiterate, and I think I've mentioned this to most everybody, but Susan and I are really, and the coordinators, we're really looking forward to having each of you come and visit the school. We're going to have some coffees. We'd like to invite you at least once a month to come in. It can be an organized visit, but it can also be you just dropping in. We're trying to be as transparent as possible with everyone. And what we feel is that the more you get to know us, not just Susan and I and the coordinators, but teachers coming into the building and getting to meet teachers and having conversations with them. Maybe at first it's, we do it in a structured way where you come in and we walk around and you get to know everybody. But we really want to have you have that back and forth with teachers so that there's not that layer of hierarchy. It's more, you know what people are asking, you know what is concerning teachers, you can talk to a student and see what they're thinking about, what they're curious about, how they're learning. And the same thing with teachers, and the same thing with everybody that works in the building. We really want that transparency for everyone. So we invite you, and we mean it. It's not pretend. It's really like we're excited to have you come in and see our school. A lot of you are parents, but we however you're coming in, we really appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to be a board member. And we just want you to see what's happening in our schools.
Kim, I just wanted to ask, what is CFCI's policy right now with visitors or parents and so forth coming into the school? I don't even know last year what y'all were doing.
We invited people to come into the school. You could come in as a guest, like a speaker or something like that, or you could come in if a teacher had invited you. For this particular invitation, it's coming in through our leadership team, and of course as a parent or as a former teacher, Missy, obviously. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come into the school. And of course, last year and each year over the last two to 3 years, because of COVID, it's been very restricted. And so we feel really fortunate that we can bring people back in the building. And like I said, the more you're there, the more you know that the work you're doing is meaningful, because you're going to see that impact directly. Whereas if we just have board meetings and you don't come, it's a little harder, so we just invite you to come in and participate. We definitely will also be inviting you, and you might get sick of it, but to any museum or any event that we're having, we're going to invite you, and we welcome you to be there. I think families seeing board members there, and at different events, and teachers and kids being able to have conversations with you, I think it just makes you more accessible in a good way. And as long as you're game, we are game too.
Great, thank you.
And so that's it for the board report, the director's report. Sorry, Stephen.
We'll do a quick overview of just a couple of things from the executive committee. So this is me and Dana, and then we'll be meeting with Kim and Susan monthly as our committee role. We'll have a board training. It's going to be on August 9th from 1 to 4:30 p.m. Maybe Kim, if you could mention, I don't know much about the guest. If perhaps you could talk for just a moment about
Susan can talk to you. Let's
okay.
He's a person that Susan is recommending.
Well, maybe Susan can talk for a second about the guest.
Yeah. I worked with him in Pender County Schools. He's a former superintendent of Jones County, and I'm fortunate to call him a friend now and a colleague. So he has worked in education for over 30 years. He is a retired superintendent and works as a consultant now on board training, strategic planning, which we were hoping to bring him on board this year to help us move our strategic plan along as well. So his name is Dr. Michael Bracey, and longtime North Carolina native, and has worked in North Carolina schools for over 30 years. So he's excited to come on board and start the board training, which will be essentially basics of, operating procedures of a board, open meetings laws, also facilitating some conversation about strategic vision and goals of the board, so that as we move into this year, we're focused on the priorities that you all have set as your priorities as a board.
In person is the plan. So we would love to see you there, particularly voting members, but others are certainly welcome to attend. And then if you're not able to attend, of course, we can provide you any documentation and any sort of information that we'll have.
Yeah, Stephen, I was going to chime in. So I'm booked in the mountains near Asheville, North Carolina that week. But looking at the agendas for most of the board meetings, not too many conflicts over the course of the year.
I also booked a trip just before you guys said that.
Not a problem. We will provide you with all the resources that are available that come out of that. We'll be glad to pass that on to you.
Stephen, I just wanted to add, I think what we're going to try to do, and sorry, Susan and I didn't talk to Mr. Bracey, Dr. Bracey, about this, but we were thinking of recording the training, and then that way any of the board members that could not attend would be able to view the training through the video, if that makes sense.
Is this the same thing as the board retreat that I saw in the emails?
That's the same thing, Nancy. Yeah.
That's correct. Yep. That is the thing. The board retreat / training. It's always a great event. Always lots of fun. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of fun while we're there as well. It's been a very long time since we've met in person, and so hopefully we can restore some of those traditions that we've had in the past. We've always had a really nice Christmas gathering, for example. Hopefully we can get back to that in December. And that was one thing that I enjoyed in my previous years. So back in those kind of things. If you do look at, we'll talk about the board meeting schedules in just a second. Kim, did you want to talk for a second about that last element about the response time for the lottery enrollment, the 5 days to 48
Sure.
hours that you had mentioned earlier?
Sure. We just need to do a vote on right now. Currently, our turnaround time, and when we were talking about pending enrollment. So right now, when a family is notified that their child has been given a spot from the lottery, they have 5 days to respond. And as we have gotten closer, it used to be 48 hours. They extended it this past year. So but in order to go back to 48 hours, we need a board vote. And I would recommend that because with, time getting short over the summer, that 48 hours is really critical. We have a short window of time to get kids enrolled, and we'd like to do that. If they're not going to take the spot, we'd like to know, and then we'd like to move on to the next student. So that's basically what we're doing. We're going from a 5-day window of thinking about it to a 48-hour window of thinking about it.
Charlie's got a question.
Can I ask a question about that? Sorry, why was it changed to a 5-day if it used to be a 48? Do we know or remember?
I don't know. It was
Accommodating
done
for difficult decisions, I think, probably for parents.
I don't know. It was done back at right around the time of our lottery this past year. And there was a small committee. I was not on that committee. So I don't know why, Carla, but I think it behooves us to go back to the 48 hours. I think that's enough time to, make a decision. I get it. Like when we're in lottery time, like in February, it seems like a long way. And if people need a little bit more time, that makes sense. But 48 hours should be enough time if you've applied to a school to think about if it's going to work for you or not. And especially in the summer, we just really think that it's important for us to know where we stand with families. So,
Kim, would there be? Oh, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I was
Kim,
going
what's
to say I agree. It's important for a quicker turnaround time and for families to be invested in it.
What's the timeline for when it opens and when it closes?
You mean the lottery, Neil? Is
Yeah.
what you're asking? So the lottery opens usually at the beginning of December for the new year, and it closes mid-February. And there's open houses and things during January, beginning of February, so people can come and tour. And then it starts right away. We have a new program 2 years ago called Lotteries, so everything happens automated. But that's the time frame. Now, people could still apply right now and be put on a wait list, but they'd be put at the bottom of the wait list. Does that make sense?
Yep. I think that's what the reason why I was asking is from personal experience. We were on the wait list and were notified, but there was one time for one of the kids we were notified when we were at Disney. So I would have never even caught the email in 48 hours, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I was asking the question, but this is specifically to the lottery, not the wait list.
Right.
And I guess my question.
Don't we make phone calls? Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yes, we can make phone call, and I think Deborah actually does do that. And if we wanted to, put that caveat on it, because I think that does still apply, Neil, to your point. You could have been away, and just that notification, if you were all of a sudden jumped up to the top of the wait list, the spot opens up, you're at Disney, you don't see it, right? It just would seem a shame. So I don't think that's a bad thing, is that we would do due diligence. We would not only let the email ride, we would also make a phone call and give people that opportunity.
Kim, is there an opportunity for people to talk with you or talk, like, if once you let them know about the spot? I know that was really important for us, right? That we
Absolutely. Yeah.
there would be space in that 48 hours to talk to somebody and get questions answered.
Yeah, I would say, Evie, actually, after they've it's almost a point of responding, right? It's after they respond, then we're talking, right? So if it takes them, more than 48 hours, that's okay. Cause then we'll at least know, well, where are you in in that place. Does that make sense? We don't just push a button and say, if it doesn't say yes in 48 hours, it really is at that point a conversation. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so was this, and just for clarification, is that you mentioned that the policy, I'm going to say policy in air quotes, was changed from 48 hours to 5 days at some point in time. Is this and I apologize for not knowing, was this a written policy in the past and it was just sort of arbitrarily changed, or thus requiring us a vote to ensure that we're actually
Right.
kind of codifying the right time?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened this past year, Stephen, and
Okay.
I can't guarantee you, but
Right.
I
Because
do
I
know
don't remember voting on that or
Right.
anything. So that's
Well,
the reason I bring it up in
right.
that regard.
So the thing is, from the state perspective, if we are
Mhm.
changing what our current procedure is or protocol is, we need a vote from the board. So
Okay.
I'd rather err on the side of, even if the policy air quote isn't there, I'd rather err on the side that we've said from a board perspective, and it's in our minutes, that we've voted on this, that we voted to go from 5 days to 48 hours.
That makes total sense. I just wanted to kind of see
I agree.
what the mechanics of that look like. All right. So we can entertain a motion to change the lottery enrollment response time to 48 hours. So we look for a motion and a second on that if we're ready to proceed. Neil,
I'll
you've been
motion.
Neil,
Yeah, I'll
you're our
motion.
you're our motion man. So okay. I need a
I'll
second. Thank you. That was Missy with the second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. Appreciate that. Okay. So there's a couple more things at the bottom of the agenda, and we're getting close to being done for the evening. Information about all the board members. There is one change, and I'm going to suggest that we were able to make this change without, kind of as a technical correction rather than formally voting or anything like that, is that we're going to do a little switcheroo with the secretary position. And so Evie has delightfully and gratefully, and thank you so much, because the secretary position is never that fun of a position, has delightfully agreed to take over the position of secretary for the board. And we had initially elected Missy, who requested very kindly, might I ask, if she could be removed and switched off with Evie, and Evie gratefully was able to accept that position. So unless there's some massive objection, I'm just going to assume that is a change that everyone is okay with, and so congratulations are in order, I think. Condolences to Evie for her assumption of the secretary role. So
Many thanks.
yes, congratulations. It is awesome to be secretary. All right. Okay. So done. Okay. I did want to, we had talked in the past, I think, Kim, a little bit about the restoration of face-to-face board meetings. And so if you look at the attachment H for board meeting schedules, you will notice, as I noticed earlier this afternoon, that the board meetings starting in August 16th are shown as being hosted at the school, which is traditionally what we had done prior to March of 2020. We used to always meet in person. Kim, do you want to speak to that for just a moment about potentially
Sure.
likely moving back into that
Sure.
our
I
traditional
think
face-to-face?
absolutely. I think one of the things that, we've talked about is, I'm sorry, the dog's barking in the background.
That's okay.
He's our new doggy. So thinking about the impact of being able to be in person, we know that it's convenient to be on Zoom. We do know that, and it's helpful. But I think there's that also that that real important piece of being able to meet face to face. And so one of the things that I talked to Stephen about, and Susan, we've all sort of talked about it, is perhaps the idea of, sometimes it is convenient, and maybe what we do is every other board meeting could be a Zoom, which is helpful to all of you, I'm sure, but that, at least one every other month would be a live meeting. So we're up for anything. Susan's at the school right now. I happen to be home because I have family here. But whatever your thoughts are, we just would love to start, getting together a little bit too, and being in the school, I think, is really important. So it's really up for discussion as a board.
So Kim, is there going to be availability if somebody's not going to be there, they're out of state or whatever? Would there be availability for that person still to be included in it?
Yes. What
Okay.
we would do is we would still set up a link, and if it's a board member, yes, or, voting or non-voting, any board member, we would set up a link so that they could Zoom in. And then we would still be live so that on YouTube, so that people can still, view it at home, because I think we have gotten some good, viewing from families and faculty and staff by having it up on YouTube. Plus, it gets saved because we're recording it, and so people can go back, and if they want to look and see what has happened, maybe they're not doing it live, but they're doing it, a day or two later when they've got some time, then that's available too. So yes, absolutely. The short answer is yes, that there would be if we were live, we would, in person, we would make it available to that board meeting to be available to others, in board members and the public.
Going in a hybrid kind of format like that. So that'll be something that we'll have to hash out going forward. I don't know what a vibe board is, Kathy, but that sounds pretty
Well,
fun.
let me tell you.
Yeah.
No, it's a new piece of technology we piloted last year in my classroom and then in Joanne Kress's technology lab, but it is basically a 70-inch.
Riley can tell you all about it.
Interactive. Yeah, Riley should be able to tell you all about it because Carla had it in her room for a while, but it's like a 70-inch interactive whiteboard. It's not a smart board because it is web-based. So in my classroom, I have my my internet cam or my webcam hooked up to it. And when we went remote for that short period of time in January, I just taught in front of my Vibe board, but it's great big, and it would be real nice in terms of if we had to have people remote. A little bit bigger
that sounds super fun.
Experience. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think technology has certainly improved in that regard in the last couple of years. So by sheer necessity. All right. Well, I think we've gotten to the end of everything that I had to cover tonight on the agenda. Are there any closing comments, questions, insults?
Can we just review the next two dates? So
yes,
in person,
that is a fantastic idea.
Right? In person,
so,
so
yep. So even more clear than that. So the executive committee, which is me, Dana, Susan, and Kim, will meet by Zoom or conference call or whatever, as we usually do, on August 2nd at 6. So that's me and Dana for the board members. On the 9th, that's the board training / retreat with Dr. Bracy. That is a face-to-face event at CFCI. So we'll hang out. That'll be awesome. The 16th is 6 p.m. That's our next monthly board meeting. So the 16th of August. And for the moment is tentatively scheduled to be face-to-face, barring some change in how we address that. But yep, those are the upcoming dates. Thank you. That was good to rehash that. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Well, hearing none, I would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Keep it going. So moved.
Neil, it's all you, buddy. All right, second.
I'll second that.
This is a second from Missy. All right, all in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you all. We will see you when we see you. Enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy your summer.
Bye, guys.
Oh, Riley, they say hi. I hope you enjoyed camp.
Oh, he did. He's got an ear infection. Ugh,
Oh, poor thing.
poor guy. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send my regards.
Okay.
We're still on
Enjoy.
YouTube. Kim. We'll
I
say we're
know.
still on YouTube, Kim, if you want to kill it. Did you need to chat for a second or are we good? Okay.